saw young children, they were doing also bhajan kirtan. This is so good because in next generation, you have to be responsible for everything. So if your Sanskriti stays good, like this, doing bhajan kirtan and being very obedient to parents, also being very excellent in school. My Guru Padma told that actually all children, they should get highest education, best education, so they will represent bhakti in the highest degree. So your school is very good, right? Your schoolwork. No.
She was just doing math work before we came.
Oh, okay.
Math homework.
Yes. So I have to keep very good. You too, also. To keep very good. All children. Gurudev wanted very much. Ashrila Prabhupada also wanted very much. All children should be so schooled in bhakti, but they should also be academically very qualified, so that they can represent bhakti in a very high level. Sastri Guru, Kirtan or?
No. Yeah, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's disappearance date?
Yeah.
And without Shashti Rose Kirtan being complete.
And being complete. And Anuradha as well. Anuradha, Alemoy Lage, when Sastri was finished, just last thing.
Yes. Then I can introduce Sir.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
for coming. We're so grateful and blessed. Today is like a Vaikunt Dham. I could see Prabhupada disciples, senior most Vaishnavas here. This place has become really wonderful, and I think the reason is very right. This last Sunday, our host here got initiated in Harinam.
Oh, Haribol.
Sundarachal.
Sundarachal.
Sundarachal Das. And Gopijan Priya Devi Dasi. Gopijan Priya Devi Dasi. So, and perfect. And then the great Vaishnavas, all of them came to bless you on this wonderful occasion. Won't take too long. You all know the three stalwarts here. But another stalwart who is called Hidden Gem is Mukunda Prabhu actually, you know. I think whatever he says less, I've heard his classes, it's just mind-blowing. And I would like to thank his Shashtiya Prabhu for giving the first association before COVID at his house. When he heard his wonderful Shastric knowledge, we thought we could share. Baltimore has been bereft for such great Vaishnava. I thought it was very nice. Just briefly, more than 50 years he's been Krishna conscious. His first association was in ISKCON, Brooklyn. Then after that he was always there. He was very closely associated with Bhakti Dev Maharaj. And the I-Fest, he was very much instrumental in opening the center, many temples in Africa. Then he traveled a lot and preached a lot. Then by the mercy of a great Vaishnava, Narayan Maharaj, he got association in 86. Then he took shelter of him. In 2001, he and Mataji took Vanprastha. And since then, they've been preaching all over the country in Harinam. And I think the one thing which I really love is the way he speaks and the way Shastric knowledge, Sanskrit comes through. It's just flowing as if he is like a person from India from last life or something. Right? So we're not taking too much time.
Many lives ago.
Many lives. I'd like to thank Shashtiya and Mukunda Prabhu for coming and blessing us on this wonderful occasion. I think I've seen so many programs here we've done, but so many Prabhupada disciple and senior Vaishnava in one house. It's very rare, so we're very blessed for that. So congratulations.
Thank you. So also your house has become Sundarachal.
Haribol, Sundarachal.
I have to touch on this. There's the Tiruma of Bhaktivinoda Thakur.
हरि मोहे लागे वृंदावन दीपो हरि मोहे लागे वृंदावन हरि मोहे लागे वृंदावन दीपो हरि मोहे लागे वृंदावन लागे वृंदावन दीपो सखी मोहे लागे वृंदावन दीपो लागे वृंदावन दीपो
Ajanulambito Bujo Kanakavadato Sankirtana Kapitolo Kanakaksho Ishwambro Bijuyo Yupidama Palo Vandijatya Pado Karanavataro Anandalilamaya Vigrahaya Hemandavascha Vishundaraya Tasmai Mahapremarashkaraya Shri Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Kasturi Tilakam Nanata Patale Vaksana Kostamana Sagre Varmopikam Karatare Venu Karakankanam Sava Angahari Chandanam Sulalitam Kantamuktabali Rajastyo Parvistito Vijayase Gopala Chudamani He Shisham Sundara Shikara Shikara Smiraha Sumini Manohara Larike Rasika Mama Pipanari Supriya Charana King Parim Kuru Tavai Vasmi Najivami Daya Vina Iti Vigyaya Raditvam Nayamam Charanantikam Yatkin Krishu Vahusa Kalikakavani Nitiparashi Krishna Shishakandamuri Tashikada Rasadide Visavanjas Takeli Kunjaba Vananganamajini Shama Bhajami Radha Radhavinda Netram Smarami Radha Madhura Smitasam Vadhami Radha Karuna Parajam Tato Nashti Gati Jagapi Pakita Bahina Yaparada Lakshay Chipta Shukhamadi Tarangamay Kripamay Tvam Sharanam Prabhana Vrinde Namaste Vicharnara Vrindam Kanaka Jaladagatro Nisubhagya Netro Mrigumara Varabhano Malati Kundamaro Taruna Taruna Vesho Nilampitam Varesho Smaranini Brittani Kunjerarika Krishna Chandro Vancha Kalpatrubhyascha Kripa Sindhuyevacha Jaitam Bhavebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Radha Shri Sivasadi Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Anyway, Pranam. So I'm very happy to be here for a couple of years now. We've tried to make arrangements that I would be able to come and have the association of devotees here in Baltimore area, I guess it'll call. We used to live not far from here. I guess we were in College Park in Hyattsville for many years before I retired and then moved to Alachua. So this is kind of very familiar ground. I was coming to Baltimore Temple and Potomac Temple for many, many years prior to that. Of course, last time we came, we saw that everything had changed. By the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, mercy of Mahaprabhu, everything is expanding. Just last night, we also saw Temple President in Potomac, and I didn't realize they're almost getting close to completion, which is pretty amazing. So this is all the extended mercy of our Srila Prabhupada and our Guru Vargas, that they're bestowing so much mercy that because Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, they're trying so hard for the save of Hari Guru and Vaishnava, then they're being blessed to have all of these amazing events happening around the save of Bhagavan. And now Prabhuji and you and your good wife have taken Harinam. So this is also a very, very big step. This is the mercy of Mahaprabhu. Today is the Tirobhav of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Sri Gadadhara Pandit. So in the Harikatha, first I'll have to speak something a little of Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Mahima. And then I will, in the course of Harikatha, speak the glories of Sri Gadadhara Pandit. So I spoke last night, and this is also applicable in this particular case. Sriman Mahaprabhu in Chaitanya Bhagavat is mentioned there. Pritveya Chayata Nagaradigram Samatra Prachara Vaibe Moranam. That there he made one prediction. This prediction came directly from the Lotus Mount of Mahaprabhu. That in every town and village, my name will be what? Actually, the first one was right. Many times devotees will translate this verse and say, that holy name will be chanted in every town and village. But Savatra Prachar Hoibe Moranam. The Prachar of Harinam will go on in every town and village. Because if there's no understanding of the Swarup of Harinam, then the Rup of Harinam will never manifest. Swarup of Harinam means Harikatha. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur mentioned this. Without Harikatha, Harinam is incomplete, and that's a very bold statement. I can repeat only because Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said. Why is incomplete? Just like if you take a photograph of someone and you give to anyone and they look at the photograph, they will look for 1 or 2 minutes, then they'll look back at you, so what do you want me to do with this? You understand? But if you will tell, this is a photograph of your family member that you did not know. They were in this place, they grew up here, now suddenly a relation comes with that photograph. In the same way, when you hear the Harikatha and the Mahima Bhagavan, that time, Nama Chintamani, Krishna's Chaitanya Ras Vigraha, that time, Harinam becomes Chintamani. We say Chintamani, but Chintamani. Right? Chintamani is proper pronunciation, but Chintamani means whatever you contemplate, like a jewel, that Nam will reveal so many things. So if you hear the Harikatha, and you will also do Harinam, so many glories will come. Our Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he was the fulfillment in the first installment of that prophecy. That prophecy was filtered to our Goswami Varga in the second generation, Narottam Srinivas Shamananda, then down to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Pai, then Srila Baladev Vijayabhushanji, and then coming down to our Guru Vargas like Jagannath Das Babaji, etc. But Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur was the synthesis of all of our Guru Vargas. Therefore, he was given the title Saptam Goswami. And what our Goswamis did, Srila Rupa Goswami Pai was directly empowered by Mahaprabhu at Prayag to reveal all of the nature of what is prem and what is rasa, everything. Srila Sanatana Goswami wrote the first Goswami Grantha. What is the first book of Goswamis? Brihad Bhagavatamrita was very first book written by Sanatana Goswami Pai. Then Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Mani, all grunts like Uttarika Valari, Stavamala, all written after that. So Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami writing books like Vilapa Kusmanjali. Understand? All sorts of books like this. Jiva Goswami Pad wrote 400,000 verses. You understand? It's difficult for me to type a message back on Facebook. You understand? So, but he wrote 400,000 verses. And he made an impenetrable wall of Siddhanta around the writing of the Goswamis. Whatever Rupa Goswami Pad is written, Jiva Goswami Pad has echoed it, but he's made it so that there is an impenetrable wall of Siddhanta to cover it. He based all of this Siddhanta on one book. What book he based it on? Srimad Bhagavatam. So actually Satsandarbhas are called Bhagavad Sandarbha, but only Bhagavad Sandarbha is divided into Tattva Sandarbha, Paramatma Sandarbha, Krishna Sandarbha, Bhakti Sandarbha, Priti Sandarbha, etc. But actually all are based on Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our moon praman for everything. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur then synthesized all of that in one book of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He has all Goswami's writings. Anybody know this book? Jayavardhan. He's with all Goswami's writings are in that one book from A to Z. Everything. All the writings of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. All writings of Brihad Bhagavatamrita, paraphrase. Certainly all the Sandarbhas are there. If you read Bhaktivinoda Thakur's introduction of Atma Tattva, you go to Paramatma Sandarbha, you see exactly the same thing that Jiva Goswami Pad wrote. Also, all Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu and Ujjalin Mani, also there in Jayavardhan. So like this, he's on Saptam Goswami. But he's also the fulcrum who shifted from the previous practices of the traditional pariwars. Advaita Parivar, Janava Parivar, Gadadhar Parivar, they had their system of practice. And Gopal Guru Goswami, his one disciple is Jnana Chandra Goswami. He wrote one Padati, means like a method book. It is called Gaur Govind Archan Smaran Padati. So the practice in the Vaishnava community prior to Bhaktivinoda Thakur was based in that Padati. And I venture to say that young men like myself who were playing basketball in Brooklyn as young boys would not have been able to follow Gaur Govind Archan Smaran Padati. You understand? But Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he inspired in the heart of a ray of Vishnu, who was the glance himself of Srimati Radhika. Naina Mani Manjari came in the family of Bhaktivinoda Thakur as Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. In the heart of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Bhaktivinoda Thakur was the fulcrum of the shift to make Mahaprabhu's prophecy worldwide imparted in the heart of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur the inspiration to give the methodology which initially became Gaudiya Math. From Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, it's mentioned, Guru Avagya Sirasi Dharane Shakyavesha Swarupine. He called one of his own very near and dear, and he empowered with his order, his agya, with his order, that you put this order on your head, and I'm promising that anything you need to carry out this prophecy and fulfillment will take place. That person was our own Srila Prabhupada. Jai Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada became the manifestation of Mahaprabhu's own uttered prophecy. That this Harinam, the prachar of this Harinam would go on all over the world. They never expected young basketball players and football players from Brooklyn to do it, but this is the mercy of Mahaprabhu. Extreme mercy. Understand? So, our Srila Prabhupada became that. But without Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and without that ability to take what Mahaprabhu had given and package it in such a way that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur could then make the shift that what we practice today could be available to every single person everywhere without any discrimination, any problem, anything. This is the mercy of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Actually, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is written in Madhurya Kandamini Grantha. Bhagavan himself does not give bhakti. Sometimes it's a misconception. Who gives bhakti? Bhakti Sanjatya Bhaktya. And who is that bhakti? Srimati Radhika. She is the Mool Shakti. She is the original Bhakti Shakti. Radhika gives. But does anybody see Radhika in Catonsville? Or, of course, in Thakurji, yes, is there. But anybody went shopping and saw Radhika or Mahaprabhu? Anybody? You have not. So who's giving? Paramasvatantra Bhagavad Bhakta Jatta Kripa Mangaladaya. That Mangala Kripa of Radhika Shakti is present in the Vaishnava. Therefore, the Vaishnava is the one who gives bhakti. And Paramasvatantrata means Bhagavan has given him independence, he can do this work. If Bhagavan had given himself bhakti, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, he'd be attributed with the fault called asamya dosh, means partiality. You gave one person bhakti, you didn't give another person bhakti. Because if you did, why am I here? You understand? So Bhagavan not partial, but by giving in the heart of a Vaishnava, the Vaishnava then comes on the platform of Majjamarika. Even if they are Nitya associates of Bhagavan, they will come to the platform where they see Prema, Maitri, Kripa, Upeksha. And in that way, they can distribute bhakti appropriately to the appropriate persons. You understand? But in the nature of Mahaprabhu's mercy, Mahaprabhu did not really consider who's qualified and who's unqualified. This is the extreme mercy of Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu, he came and he gave prema in such a way. Suno Nityananda, Suno Haridas. You go out and go preaching. Who was the first persons they went to go preaching? You understand? To show. And no other incarnation. You could look all Purans, any Itihas, you can look anything. You'll never see any incarnation has shed their blood to give love of God to the Jiva. Only Nityananda Prabhu. This is an amazing pastime. Of course, who is Jagai Mata is actually Jai Vijay. This fourth installment. First installment, Hiranyak Chinanika Sifu, Ravan Kumbhakan, Sishipal Dantavakra. But then, the mercy of Mahaprabhu is he brings all of his associates into Goa Lila. One shlok is there, Prem Naiva Goparamanam Kamam Mityagamat Pratam Udava Api Etan Vajanti Bhagavat Priya. All the dear devotees of Bhagavan from all the previous incarnations, they come into Goa Lila so they can taste the highest type of prema. Question could arise right here. If Krishna experienced the highest type of prema, why did they all come into Krishna Lila? This is the question. He could have brought all into Krishna Lila. Why? He didn't bring into Krishna Lila. Because Krishna himself had not fully tasted the highest thing yet. So now our Harikatha begins here. Sri Brahmaji, he wrote in the 5th chapter of Brahma Samhita. It is the only chapter of Brahma Samhita available. I went to Sri Arikesha temple in South India. This is the place where it originated. They have, I believe, still encased this one chapter. Mahaprabhu took, I guess, a manuscript, but encased there's this one chapter of Brahma Samhita. This 5th chapter. There he starts by saying, Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha, Anadi Adi Govinda, Sava Karana Karana. So he's saying that Krishna, who's Parameshwara, it means among all the different incarnations of God, Parameshwara is Shri Krishna, Swayam Bhagavan Shri Krishna. Why is Krishna superior among all other incarnations? All the incarnations of God are Sad Aishwarya Purna. It means they have 6 opulences. Right? Aishwarya, Samagrasa, Vireshya, etc. What is making Krishna superior to all other incarnations? Jiva Goswami Pad wrote this.
The 4 extra languages.
Oh, very good. Understand? Jiva Goswami Pad wrote, Bhagavatstavad Asadharana. Sadharana means regular, ordinary. Asadharana means who's unordinary, extremely exceptional. Bhagavatstavad Asadharana. Aishwarya Madhurya Tattva Visesh. By these 4 Chattva Madhuri, Krishna becomes Aishwarya Madhurya. He can reconcile Aishwarya and sweetness in one package. Do you think there is no Aishwarya in Vrindavan? There is so much Aishwarya in Vrindavan. Topmost Aishwarya. During Sri Govardhan Leela, Jiva Goswami Pad is described in Gopal Champu. When Krishna lifted Govardhan Hill, did they see mud and dirt and snakes? What did they see when they lifted Govardhan Hill? So many jewels, crystal staircases, legs. So what here is showing is that though there's so much Aishwarya in Braj, the sweetness of Braj covers over that Aishwarya. This can only happen because of the extraordinary quality of Krishna. This is what makes him Asadharana. This is what makes him Ishvara Parama Krishna. Then it says though, in the last verse, Sava Karana Karana. Krishna is the cause of all causes. Question here is if Krishna is Sat Chit Ananda Vigraha, it means existence, knowledge and bliss, all are existing in Krishna's Vigraha, what does he need to cause to happen? You understand the question? Why do you need to cause anything else to happen? You're Atmaram Aptakam. You're completely self-contained. You can get anything you want. Why do you need to cause something else to happen? You need... Huh? Very good. Prabhuji, you should sit here to class. Very good. Vasovaisa and also Prabhuji, you're correct. Also for Leela. So though Krishna is Atmaram, in Skanda Purana describes why Krishna is Atmaram. Atmaramastu Radhika Tasharamana Eva So Atmaramasiti Proktas Munibir Guyavedi. The confidential meaning all pure devotees and Sastra has describing Krishna's Atmaramata is that Radhika is always doing Ramana in the heart of Krishna. This is why he's Atmaram. So when Krishna wants to taste, as Prabhuji mentioned Leela, Radha Krishna Chaye Eki Swarup. Even though Radha and Krishna are one Swarup, Leela Rasha Ashadite, Dare Dui Rup. They permanently take 2 separate forms to taste this Leela Ras. This is called Pararamata. Atmaramata is Krishna's self-contained. Pararamata, he wants to taste this Ras, therefore he expands as Radha and Krishna permanently. But Krishna is very Akilar Samritamwati or Rasovaisa. He's very much a connoisseur of Ras. So he does not start with the Leela of Radha Krishna. He will start with Leelas like Kurma Leela. He'll start Leelas like Varaha Leela. And in these Leelas he'll taste various kinds of ingredients. But everybody knows, I was mentioning last night, if you will go anywhere in India, I think except Gujarat, right? Dessert is at the end, right? You have your thali and then at the end you'll be dessert. In Gujarat, I was preaching in Africa, many Gujarati families, sometimes Puran Puri, anything is in the beginning. You understand? So, I don't know, it's different, culture is different. All is very good. I'm not obviously I'm not complaining. You understand? No problem for me. But I'm saying, this usually dessert is at the end. Krishna also is like this. Krishna wants that the rasa should build. So he performs wonderful rasas like Kurma, Varaha, Narsingha Bhagavan, then Vaman Roop, even Shaktivesh avatars like Parashuram. And then he comes to Maryada Purushottam, Sri Ramji. And in Ram Leela, there are the tasting of 2 1/2 rasas primarily. But the seeds of all rasa are there also in Ram Leela. But 2 1/2 rasas are prominent. What 2 1/2 rasas are prominent in Ram Leela? I'm always going to look this side.
Then
Dasya Rasa.
Sakya Komi.
Sakya?
Sakya maybe?
What's the
Partially Sakya, Gaurava Sakya Rasa, like Vibhishan, Sugriv, others. And
what's the
Vatsalya. Because from Vaman Roop, from Narasimha Roop, after consoling Prahlad Maharaj, then Bhagavan thought, oh, every time I've come from nostril of Brahma, I've come from this place, that place, this time I came from any pillar. But actually looking at Prahlad Maharaj, Poshan and Palan arose in the heart of Narasimhadev. Palan and Poshan are the ingredients of Vatsalya prayer. Palan means like to protect, and Poshan means to nourish, like we do our children. That mood came in Narasimhadev's heart. So he promised from that day on, not taking any more incarnations from weird circumstances. Now also I want to mother and father. So Bhagavan does everything in excess. So when he came as Ram, how many mothers did he take? Oh, 3 mothers. Kausalya, Kaikeyi and Sumitra. All 3 mothers love Ram equally. Believe it or not, Kaikeyi had so much love for Ram. It's a very, very deep mystery here. Because only that person with the most love can fulfill the desire ultimately. In the Dakshina Ramayana, because there's many commentaries and many versions of Ramayana. In the Dakshina Ramayana it's mentioned when Ram was a very small boy, he approached Mother Kaikeyi and he told her, oh, Maya, you should make a promise to me. Kaikeyi said, for you I will do anything. You promise me that when I become of age to be the Yuvaraj, you will banish me to the forest and you'll make Bharat the king. Kaikeyi says, oh, you're a small boy, what are you talking about? What is this? Perhaps you've been listening to some rumors, anything, don't worry about these things now. Only busy yourself in playing, enjoying your life. What kind of talk is this? But Ram made her insist that when I become of age, you'll banish me and make Bharat the king. So Kaikeyi held this, but she thought this thing will never come to pass. He's a small boy. This kind of talking should never happen. Certainly we know that it came to pass. And even with Kaikeyi, when Mantra came to Kaikeyi to convince her to make Bharat the king and to banish Ram, was Kaikeyi agreeable? Not at all. Mantra raised Kaikeyi. Kaikeyi's mother passed early. So Mantra raised Kaikeyi from a small girl. So the relationship was not just like a maid-servant, elderly maid-servant, like mother almost, like auntie. Understand? So she had so much faith in Kaikeyi, in Mantra, but she could not digest that I should do this thing. What was the convincing thing? She said to me, oh, you're a foolish girl, you don't understand anything. Don't you know that when Ram will become king, Kausalya will become main queen, you'll be secondary. Then she told also, how do you think Ram will treat to Bharat? She told so many things, Kaikeyi would not budge. Then she said, listen, do you know that if Ram becomes king, and he will make alliance with other kings, they will attack the kingdom of your father. When Kaikeyi heard this, then Kaikeyi's heart, because her father was so dear to her, that time Kaikeyi's heart went under change. And she agreed to do this thing. So in many ways, without this fulfillment of the promise that she made to Ram, then whole Vanvas Leela of Ram would not take place. You understand? So Kaikeyi is not the demon that we think she is. But she underwent also great suffering. What did Bharat tell to Kaikeyi? Never again I will utter from my mouth the word to you, mother. And for any mother, how painful is that? But really she endured that to fulfill the desire of Lord Ram. And to fulfill the desire of the one you love is more important, even though she did it inadvertently. But Janak Maharaj, when Bharat came to Chitrakoot, and he went there to convince Ram to come back, they had a big meeting. That time Janak Maharaj came there. Janak Maharaj also Mahajan. And they asked him, listen, you should weigh out whose argument is best. So Bharat put forth so many arguments. Yes, you should come back for this reason, that reason, so forth. Then Ram, he gave all of his arguments. Janak Maharaj contemplated, then he said, listen, Ram, in this argument in love, you have been defeated. Understand? Because Bharat's love for you is so high that it has covered the mountain of your determination. Understand? Because Ram put up so many arguments, being determined to keep Dharma. Because he's Maryada Purushottam. To keep Dharma. Right? I'll follow the word of my father. Even at the death of my father, I'll follow this word. Even taking the young bride princess whom I just married into the forest, I'll keep this promise. even taking my brother with me, who Sastra says could not sleep for the 14 years, I will carry out this promise. This is the Maryada Dharma of Sri Ramji. But he said, your argument is very strong for Dharma, but the love argument is stronger of Bharat. Then Bharat became very happy. Says, I've won. So immediately Ram will come back. Janakmar said, no. Why? Because when somebody loves someone, their greatest thing is to do what is the request of the person they love. Understand? And because Ram has asked that you should run this kingdom, and that you allow him to follow out his dharma, this would be greater if you truly love Ram. So in this way, Ram does not go back obviously until he returns to Ayodhya, etc., etc. But this is the Leela of Lord Ram. It is Maryada Purushotta Dharma Leela. Can you find a more perfect son? Can you find a more perfect king? Therefore even nowadays they call for Ram Raj, right? Can you find a more perfect husband? Right? Even Himpek. Go and bring me that golden fleece. You understand? That's not the deer Sita. That's a demon. Anyway, bring this thing. Okay, right? Now, we're also doing nowadays, we're not Lord Ram, we're also doing, wife will say to do something, you're happy wife, happy life. So we're not Ram, but we're still doing. Understand? So, like this, you cannot find anyone who is more perfect. This is the highest establishment of Dharma. In the very next Leela, that Dharma goes out the window and Krishna Leela takes place. So now, even from the very beginning of his childhood, Krishna becomes so naughty. He does so many things. Right? As soon as Krishna, first of all, I'm not trying to go too whole Krishna Leela because then it takes too long. But we should establish one thing. Krishna appears in the dungeon of Vasudev and Devaki. Krishna takes his birth in Braja. This is clearly written in so many places in Srimad Bhagavatam. It's also mentioned here. Jayati te adikam janmana braja sarada indira shashratri. He took his birth in Vrindavan. The umbilical cord cutting was in Vrindavan. Non-Utsav, everything you read, Tilketu took his birth there in Vrindavan. Understand? Then, as Krishna was growing up, he became so naughty. When Krishna and Balaram were of an age where they could move around, they used to do certain things. They would go sometimes out into the Goshala. And if any cow or calf was laying in the grass, and their tail was moving in the grass, then Krishna would look at Balaram, Haji, we have a chance to save our entire dynasty by protecting a cow. Baladev would look, say, how will we protect this cow? Don't you see that sap? Sap means like a snake. You see that snake there? It's the tail of the cow. He said, you see. And then every now and then the cow does like this, and the tail of the cow, the hair on the tail, looks like the mouth of the snake. So just see Dalbaya, see that snake. We should conquer that snake. Understand? So then they would plan, they would run and same time jump on the tail of the cow. The cow, of course, would be startled, jump up, and would drag them through the mud and everything. All this, of course, would take place just after Yashodamaya had bathed, dressed very nicely, everything. Understand? So Krishna was so naughty. But why is Krishna so naughty? Because in Vatsalya praying, there are certain qualities. Palan, Posan, Tanda Bhartsana, and Sanka Amangala. So Palan and Posan have already described. To protect and to nourish, but also Tanda Bhartsana means to chastise. If you cannot chastise your child, real parental affection is not there. So Mother Yashoda has this ability to also chastise Krishna. And Sanka Amangala means, if your small child will disappear from your sight, even for 2 minutes, what will you do? Where is she? Where is he? So these are the 4 qualities of Vatsalya praying. So Krishna's naughtiness, his stealing butter in so many houses, his doing everything was only to nourish this mood of Vatsalya praying in Mother Yashoda. Understand? When Krishna grew up to be a little bit older, during his Poganda age with his coward boyfriends, at that time they also used to do many things. They would go from one house to another and steal butter. Were they actually stealing butter? What were they stealing?
Hearts of the heart.
They were stealing praying. Because this is the meaning of Rasavai Saha. In that butter it is composed of Sandhini Shakti. Everything in the Dham is Sandhini Shakti. It means it's composed of spiritual substance. That Sandhini Shakti is imbued with Alladini. Alladini means the bliss potency. So everything that they do in the Dham is actually tasting the bliss inherent in whatever it is they're doing. The dust of Vrindavan. Why Krishna can eat dirt? That dirt is infused with the Alladini Shakti. So Krishna's tasting all the rasa that's present in Brajadama. But of course, coward boy's not agreeing, so they told Mother Yashoda, whole drama unfolds. Mother Yashoda asks to look in his mouth. She sees the entire Jagat in the mouth of Krishna, everything. But still, even seeing the whole universe in Krishna's mouth, did her Vatsalya praying waver at all? Not at all. It increased. And therefore she decided that I have to do something. So she bought Panchagavya, all elements from the cow, pouring cow urine, everything. So Krishna thought this was a good idea. This program is not a good idea. But can he do anything? He's Bhagavan. But though being Bhagavan, he cannot say, I don't want to do this. It doesn't matter whether you want to do or not. Because the mother Yashoda's prema is controlling. Understand? So many pastimes Krishna had with his coward boyfriends. I told last night. Sometimes Krishna is associated with Madhu Mangal. Madhu Mangal is Vatu, like a jokester. So many pastimes he played with Madhu Mangal. Ma Yashoda used to make one lunch with Rohini Ma every morning for the coward boys to take when they go for Gocharan. One morning, Mother Yashoda was making so many very, very nice high quality ladus. So Madhu Mangal told Krishna, you should go and ask on my behalf that Mother Yashoda should make extra ladus for me. So Krishna, why she should make extra ladus for you? We're all going the same place, tending the same cow. Why she should make extra for you? You don't know anything, I will ask myself. So he went to Mother Yashoda and he asked, Maya, can you please to make extra ladus for me? Because these boys, they're only Vaishya boys. They're used to hard work. I'm a Brahmin. This is not Brahmin work, but still I'm going with them. And if I have to walk a very, very long way, I become very tired very easily. They also many times make me do everything. So in this way, Mother Yashoda, she said, oh, certainly. And she made so many extra ladus. She made so many ladus. And they were all there sitting on one place in the kitchen. At that time, Sridham and Krishna, they came there to the kitchen. They saw so many extra ladus. This Madhu Mangal, listen this way, look what he's doing. So then they said, listen, let's take the ladus. They took all the ladus, they put in different gop's bag. And then they put rocks inside the sack where Madhu Mangal was there. So Madhu Mangal went and he picked up his thing and he thought, this is so heavy. Oh my gosh, and he was struggling. He said, Mother Yashoda loves me so much. Understand? She loves me so much. She's made so many ladus, it's very heavy. So he was carrying, all of the gopis were saying, Madhu, let us take the bag for you and help. No, I don't need any help. I can carry myself. You tend to your business. So he's struggling and struggling and struggling. So then Krishna said, oh, today we should go to the top of Giriraj to do grazing. It'll be very good. We have not been there a long time. So Madhu Mangal, he's crawling on Govardhan, carrying this sack. You understand? So finally lunchtime came. So everybody put their lunch down, and Madhu Mangal only put his sack down and was holding with his hands. All the other coward boys open, Madhu, open your sack. Every day we come, we eat, we look at me, who has one, giving, no, it's okay, you eat yours, don't worry anything what's in my sack. You understand? So he's holding and guarding. And every now and then he would bend down. And he was very happy. So finally Krishna told, listen Madhu, my mother told that on the top of the whole pack, she made one very large special ladu for you. Only we want darshan of that ladu. We will not bother you, we just want to see that ladu. Madhu said, okay, you back up. All of you, move back. So then he opened his sack, then he closed very quickly. Looking to see if anybody's coming. He opened and he put his hand and he felt, oh, this ladu feels so funny. This ladu feels so funny. You know, it's a little hard. But perhaps Mother Yashoda added some special, more sweetener. And in this way, it's become a little hard. But if I take it out, it will go in the sun. Oh, very nice. So then he's feeling, but he says, this particular ladu also not smelling. It's not smelling like get ladus. Right? So then finally he opened his sack and he saw rocks. He said, oh, all of you are thieves. This is the nature. I've also gone with you so many times stealing, I know you must have stolen. So that time, Krishna, Sridham, Subal, Ujjwal, all kind of boys, they started to run in a circle around Madhu Mangal. And Krishna would take one ladu and throw that ladu over the head of Madhu Mangal. It would go directly, this is original basketball. It would go directly to the mouth of Sridham and then Subal. And this way Madhu Mangal becoming very frustrated. But so many sweet pastimes like this. If Krishna will wrestle with Subal or Sridham, in Sridham, they will make an agreement. Listen, in this wrestling match, whoever wins will have to carry the loser. Carry the winner. So, Krishna said, I am agreeing to this. So then Sridham and Krishna began to wrestle. For some time it was pretty vigorous, and then Sridham pinned Krishna to the ground. So then Sridham got up and said, I've won. Krishna said, no, you have not won. Why are you saying you won? So what are you talking about? I pin you to the ground. This is the rules of wrestling? He said, no. The rule originally was whoever's nose is pointing up is the winner, whose nose is pointing down is loser. He said, well, you're making up the rules as we go along. You understand? So that time, Durvasha Muni, and this is an important thing here, because Srimad Bhagavatam mentions that Srimad Bhagavatam is so wonderful. Muyanti yat suryo. In Sanskrit, suryo means plural. So it means all sadhus, devatas, everybody will be ruled by the charm of Krishna's lila. Durvasha Muni was sitting very nearby in Tirkadamba. Yeah. So Krishna told, ask Sadhu Baba. He can testify who's actually won. So they went and they jumped on the lap of Durvasa Muni. Durvasa Muni is a very special person. Right? Durvas. That person in whom very difficult things reside, he's called Durvas. Understand? So he was so amazed just seeing the form of Krishna and seeing that Bhagavan, like a small boy is playing, and like any ordinary child, he's losing a wrestling match. That person, whom Ananta sage is only a partial manifestation and rules all the universes, he's losing any wrestling match to another young boy. Durvasa Muni was completely bewildered. So Sridham and Krishna sat on the lap of Durvasa. They said, oh Sadhu Baba, please tell who's won. No answer. Baba, please, this is very important. Tell who won. No answer. So Sridham looked at Krishna and said, this Baba's deaf and dumb, he doesn't know anything. You cannot depend on him. So then they both began to pull the beard of Durvasa. Durvasa's head is going up and down. Please Baba. Oh, leave this Baba. He's useless. Right? And they went. So many sweet childhood pastimes. Then Krishna, when he became of age, and he was one day herding the cows. On that day, it was the Nakshatra birthday of Sri Balaramji. So Balaram did not go. Balaram is older than Krishna, and Krishna can be controlled only by Balaram. Krishna can be naughty even to Yashoda, Rohini, all others, but if Dalbaya will say something, immediately he'll do it. Many days they'd go for Gocharan, and nearby is Kaliyarara, the lake of Kaliya. And Krishna would always try to steer the cows and go there, and Baladev would check. No, don't go that side. Very dark over there. There's no need to go that side. Go this way. Every day Krishna is doing it. But in his heart, he wanted to go that side. On that day that was Baladev's birthday, he was kept back at home. And big celebration was going on. And so now, when the other cowboys went to take the cows out, Subal also left. Then Baladev thought, I know this boy. Subal, come. So Subal came back. But by the time Subal came back to talk to Baladev, the cow party had gone so far. You tell Krishna, do not go near that lake. You understand? But already the party had gone. So Krishna immediately made a beeline to where Kaliya was living in that lake. Immediately when the cowherd boys went there and they drank from that lake, we know they all passed away. Krishna gave his merciful Subhadrashti, his glance, and all immediately came back to life. But he thought, I have to chastise this snake. Many pastimes are in this Kaliya Damana Lila. So immediately Krishna climbed one Kadamba tree. He jumped into that lake. And immediately he was caught in the coils of Kaliya. In the meantime, I spoke about Vatsalya praying, having something called Sanka Amangla. So immediately in the heart of Yashoda, some ill omens came. And she pulled the cloth of Nanda Baba. I'm not feeling good. Then Nanda Baba began to notice ill omens in the atmosphere. All begin to think only, where is Krishna, where is Krishna, where is Krishna? Because all Vrijabasis, their life and soul is Krishna. Understand? They all begin to think, where is Krishna, where is Krishna? So they wanted to go, but what did Baladev do? Oh, he's okay. No problem. Krishna can handle himself. But meanwhile, Baladev's arms are like this. The party of the elderly Vrijabasis and all the Braj, they're pushing Baladev. So Baladev's feet are like this, and they're pushing and he's sliding along. You understand? Then they come to Kaliya Daha, and immediately when they see this scene, Krishna caught in the coils of Kaliya, immediately all Vrijabasis faint, except one grouping.
Srimati Radhika.
And who else? All the young gopis. All the young gopis, when they saw that scene, even though all elderly gopis and gopis had fainted, the gopis' eyes became very, very big. And they only stared. And Madhu Mangal, by Sanket, Sanket means like a hint, he told to Krishna, look, what's going on? Krishna immediately, he glanced over, not looking directly. Right? Everything has to be by Akshavilas. Akshavilas means by eyes. He looked over. Immediately he jumped from the coils of Kaliya and jumped on top of the head of Kaliya. And he began doing the most amazing dance. That time he was dancing. The jewels on the head of Kaliya were shining. So it looked like discotheque. You understand? Krishna's dancing, the light is shining. Krishna's pitambar, Krishna's jewelry, everything shining. So this way he was dancing. And all the gopis were staring in awe. That very vision in their Vayasandhi. Vayasandhi means the junction between ages. The gopis Purvarag started there. Jiva Goswami writing in Gopal Chandra. Their Purvarag means they're seeing Krishna now differently. Like when you went to elementary school. Any boy and girl, they went to elementary school. In elementary school, that young boy, his teeth had not yet been corrected by braces. He also has glasses very, very thick. You understand? Also his body is very skinny. You understand? That time, that young girl, that young boy, not thinking about each other at all. You understand? He may be like our friend. He's the butt of jokes between me and my girlfriend's everything. Fast forward, when you get to high school, that boy's vision has now been corrected or he has LASIK. You understand? Now, no more braces. Very beautiful teeth. And his mother bought him gym membership. You understand? So now, very, very fit. You understand? So now in high school, that young girl looks at that young boy. But still lunch is there. Some shyness is there. But in this way, gopis, when they came to their Vayasandhi, to the age when they're starting to grow older, now they looked at Krishna first time, seeing, oh, so charming. It is that very dance on the head of Kaliya that inspired in their hearts a samskar. One day I want to dance with that boy. This is the genesis of Ras Leela. You understand? In Purvarag. Then whole Venu Geet is Purvarag. Itti Venu Ravam Rajam Savabhutta Manoharam. When Krishna will play on his flute, everyone becomes bewildered because gopis are very young. At that time they could not express themselves. Therefore they used to gather together in their groups and they would speak, what is the amazing sound of this flute? But then they thought, oh, if our elders will see like this, it will be very embarrassing. So if you read the 20 verses in Venu Geet carefully, you will see what is called Avahita Bhav. Avahita Bhav. Avahit means to hide something. So Avahita Bhav means to hide their mood. To hide their mood, they speak 20 verses explaining why are you blaming us for feeling or having some experiences. Everyone is having this experience. The deers, they're roaming in the forest, they hear this flute, they also become bewildered and go towards Krishna. But amazingly, they not only go, but the husbands are following. You understand? You're thinking, okay, the deers are just simple animals. But I've seen that in the trees, there are birds, and these birds are sitting, like in meditation, and they're swaying back and forth. Those are not ordinary birds. Those are rishis and sages who've come to this braj and are doing meditation. They've also become bewildered. Oh, but you give the argument. But no chaste lady will become affected by this. I beg to differ, gopis are saying. Listen, look in the sky. you will see the Viman of the Devatas. And in that Viman of the Devatas, you will see their wives. Their hairs become loose, everything, and they're fainted over the Viman. But then you'll give the argument, you can say like that, but we're simply earthly persons. Oh, then look at these Palindi girls. They don't have high Sanskriti. But when they see the kumkum in the grass coming, they will take and smear all over their whole bodies. Yes, but these girls, they have no culture, they're not very high class. Jamuna is sacred to all of us. If Jamuna hears this flute, Jamuna goes towards her husband. Any river flows towards the ocean. Jamuna is going towards her husband. But when she hears this flute, she doubles back and creates one whirlpool. This whirlpool is the arms of Jamuna reaching out to embrace Krishna. So in this way, in 20 verses of Venu Geet, they show how everyone is affected by this flute of Krishna. So then, we have to find some way to make it possible that this coming together of gopis with Krishna will happen. So first, there should be a national emergency. Under a national emergency, we saw that after the chastisement of Kaliya, when they spent the night on the bank of the Kaliya Daha, at that time there was no problem. Because due to national emergency, everybody could stay together, everything, no problem. So Krishna was very anxious. Another national emergency should take place. National means Brajadam. You understand? So then he went to Mother Yashoda one day. She was cooking and very busy, and she told, listen, Maya, what are you cooking and who are you cooking for? Don't bother me right now. We're making a very, very large feast. Every year we have one yagya. And in this yagya is very important. So I cannot answer your questions right now. We have to stay busy. But Maya, please, you never keep any secrets from me. Listen, then go and ask your father. So Krishna went to me, oh Baba, please tell me. Maya's cooking so many preparations. I also see there's so many decorations. What event is taking place? Is it my birthday? No. Is it Dauba's birthday? No. But we don't have time now. We're in great preparation. And so, Nanda Baba and all cardmen, they go into the place where they have their meetings. They're sitting. And Krishna wants to come in. But they tell them, listen, no. You cannot come in. This is for adults. We're having a very serious meeting here. So Krishna says, listen, Baba. If you are all adults, your interest is in the welfare of the next generation. So if I don't come in and I don't hear, how will I know what to do when I become your age? And then Nanda Baba said, listen, your language is very tricky. I know. But all the other Karamans said, that really makes sense to me. Sounds good to me. You understand? So by consensus, they let Krishna come in. So then they began talking. Yeah, so this year at our Indra Yagya, we should do like this, we should do like that. Krishna says, oh, what is the Indra Yagya? And Nanda Baba, Maharaj told him, this was so funny. He said, see, this is why I didn't want this boy to come in. So he says, Baba, what is Indra Yagya? Is it a special ceremony? He says, no, this is in our family tradition. And they began talking and Krishna said, yes, Baba, what family tradition? Your family or Maya's family? No, listen. All of us have many years been doing this every single year. Baba, who started it? It's so ancient we cannot tell. Oh, Baba, who's it for? It is for Indra. Krishna, listen. Baba, why are we offering to Indra? Listen. From Indra Devata, all the rains are coming. From the rains, grains are growing. Our cows eat the grass that also grows from that. So Indra's providing so much. So then Krishna, long story short, went through Saddarshan. Saddarshan, 6 different schools of thought in India. Nyaya, Vasisi, Asankhya, Yoga Vasishta, right? He went through all 6 darshans and explained why it was useless to do an Indra Yagya. After hearing this, they said, what suggestion you have? We should worship Giriraj Govardhan. Oh, Shri Giriraj Govardhan ki jai. He said, we should worship Giriraj Govardhan. So he says, but what we'll do, we'll have to start all over. He said, no need to start over. Everything you have right now, you can take and you can do the worship of Govardhan. So immediately, long story short, they took everything they had, did the worship of Govardhan. Govardhan personally appeared there and ate all the offerings. And after eating, Anyor, bring more. So then Krishna told, listen, has Indra ever showed up when you offer prasadam? Has he even asked for seconds? Because his loving affection mood if you'll eat something and then you'll take seconds, means love and affection. Yes, listen, Giriraj is asking even for more. Indra doesn't even appear. You make so many preparations, he doesn't even come. But Giriraj ate everything and is asking for more. How much Giriraj loves us. Also, we're taking care of our cows at Govardhan. Other secrets also going on in Govardhan. Krishna has plans for Govardhan. Understand? Many caves in Govardhan. I'm getting to that point. Understand? So, at that time, immediately everybody was happy until Indra found out about it. Long story short, he called Samantaka and other clouds. They made very great disaster. Krishna had to lift Govardhan hill. All the Brijabasis took shelter of Govardhan hill. And while standing under Govardhan hill, many leelas took place. One leela is at Ma Yashoda. She began to massage Krishna's arms and try to feed him everything while he's holding. And then all the cowherd boys, they also helped. They took their sticks and they held their sticks up to help him. But the young gopis, what can they do? They weren't doing very much of anything. They were standing, but only every now and then they would glance from the corner of their eye. And then Krishna would glance back. And one time they were doing like that, and all of a sudden, the hill began to shake. You understand? So Krishna very quickly caught himself composed and began holding the hill again. At that time, after everything was finished, and Krishna put the hill back down, then there was a big debate. The cowherd men said, listen, I know that when Gargacharya came here to do the namkaran, the naming ceremony, he told, Nandastu Atmajo Yamte Narayana Shama Guna. Your child has qualities like Narayan. We understand. But this is extraordinary. To lift one hill for 7 days on the pinky of his weak hand, so to speak. This is extraordinary. We need explanation. So then they heard the elder gopis, they were murmuring. So they said, do you have an answer? Said, yes. The reason he can do this is because we've been feeding this boy Makan since he was this big. So he's grown very, very strong. Then the cowherd boys, they began to laugh. No, this is not the reason. When he was in trouble, we took our sticks and we all held up together. So if you're thinking about giving anybody Makan, you should distribute to all now. You understand? So then the young gopis, they also begin to laugh. Kacho Makana Bala Baro, Kacho Ko Kisai, Kishori ji ki kripa se Girivarali Utai. You understand? Then the young gopis, when they laugh, then the young cowherd boys turn up, what are you laughing about? Said, listen, all of you are wrong. This hill was not held up by Makan excess. This hill was also not held up by the rickety sticks of some cowherd boys. This hill was held up simply by the glance of my Kishori ji, Shrimati Radhika. Jai Bol Shrimati Radharani ki Jai. So like this, Manu Mangal challenged. He said, listen, what are you talking about? That your Saki simply from her glance, she was holding him. This is ridiculous talk. He said, oh, you don't believe it. He said, no. Because it takes great strength and power. Only us, this Manu Mangal? Only us persons who have such strength can hold the hill like this. So he says, well, how will you prove that your Saka is stronger than my Saki? You tell. Anything you want to do, we'll arrange it. He said, well, usually if people want to test their strength, the best way to test is a wrestling match. So then Lalita stepped in. Lalita Saki is very pragalpa, means very haughty. No. This is your nonsense trickery idea to allow your Saka to touch my Saki. No, it won't happen. So then he said, no. You're only saying this because you know this is what we're saying is true. Your Kishori's glance cannot hold this hill. So then Lalita became angry. He said, okay, then we should arrange a wrestling match. So that time they went and they arranged privately one wrestling arena. They took Radhika's cloth and tied it like dhoti, everything, put everything. Then they got ready to prepare Krishna, like wrestler, slapping arms, doing massage. At that time, in Vrindavan, everybody came to witness this. So even the breeze of Vrindavan came to witness this. So the breeze was blowing and it touched the anchal of Radhika. And that breeze began blowing and it entered the nostril of Krishna. When it entered the nostril of Krishna, he said, he became weak. So all cowboys, hey, wait, Kanai, what's the matter? I'm okay. Understand? Then they entered the wrestling arena. Radhika took her upper cloth and covered her whole face. In this way, Radhika was standing simply in one place, and Krishna began, wrestlers, you have to move one side, move one side. So then Krishna finally began to do his attack. Radhika peeled back her shawl and looked at him with a glance. That time, this is the power of Srimati Radhika. Radhika's praying is so high. Ramani Shiromani Rishabhanu Nandini Neelavashana Paridana China Purata Jini Varna Vikasini Bata Kaveri Hari Prana. Radhika's love is so high that she's able to take Krishna's whole life and bind it up in her braid. What kind of love is this? What kind of love is this? This love is called Madanakya Mahabhav. Prem goes through so many stages. The very first manifestation of prem in this world is called Shraddha. That one lean influence of prem comes in the jiva, and what the jiva could not do from anadikal is accomplished only by this lean influence of prem called Shraddha. The jivas have been in this world from anadikal. It's explained in Bhagavatam, 11th canto. Anadya vijayuktasha purushasha vedatmanam swato na sambhavanti. You cannot get yourself out also. Anya requires another person. Gyanatva ganado bhavat means sadhu guru. Understand? So now, what we could not accomplish on our own. So many years, people knew something is wrong. This is not right. Birth, old age, disease, and death. I'm not really liking this. But we can't extricate ourselves. When you met Sadhu Guru and Adol Shraddha, some faith came. That time immediately, some discrimination came and you turned away from this Maya and at least turned towards Krishna. This is the feature of Shraddha. Shraddha Anupayani Varajam Bhakti Unmukhi Chitti Vritti Visesh. This is the power of Shraddha. What to speak if Shraddha, which is only the leanest thin influence of praying, can break the hold of Maya? How powerful is Madanakya Mahabhav? That Shraddha turns into Sadhu Sangha, into Bhajana Kriya, into Anatana Vritti, into Nishta, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhav. Then that Bhav turns into Prem. Prem turns into Sneha. Man, Pranay, Rag, Anurag. Anurag turns into Mahabhav. Because Ujjwala Mani is explaining, Anurag Swasam Vejadasya Prapya Prakashita. Yavara Shraya Vitti's Chet. That this Anurag is the basis of the love the gopis have. That Anurag turns into Mahabhav, Rud, Adirud, Modan, Mohan, and in Radhika exclusively, Madanakya Mahabhav. What is that Madanakya Mahabhav? Yoga Esha Bhavedesha Vijiti Kopi Madanaha Vrajavilasi Virajante Nitya Lila Sahasrada. That Mahabhav allows that Radhika is always with Krishna whether she is or not. Yogesha. How? Because Radhika is conscious of Krishna in all prakosh. Prakosh means like different rooms. So for instance, if Krishna is sitting with Radhika like at Prem Sarovar, and Madhu Mangal says, there's one bee which is coming around the face of Radhika, and Madhu Mangal chased that bee away with a stick and said, that Madhusudan has gone and will not return. Only by hearing through the ear, this udipan means stimulus. Radhika went to Prem Vaichitya. Prem Vaichitya means even though she was sitting on the lap of Krishna, she was experiencing separation. How? In Madanakya Mahabhav, she entered into another chamber where she was actually separated from Krishna. This is the power of Madanakya Mahabhav. Understand? So Krishna himself does not have that. Now, I'm ending here, that Krishna has a coveted desire to obtain that. From the very beginning of Krishna's appearance, it's mentioned in Padma Puran, there's one Rasa Stali. From the left side of Krishna, who appeared? Srimati Radhika. From the right side, who appeared? Sadashiv. Padma Purana telling Sadashiv. That same Sadashiv performs the pastime and becomes Gopeshwar Mahadev. You understand? Why? Because from the very beginning, this is an ontological description in Padma Purana. He's describing that Krishna maintains, the word Shiv means auspicious. Sada means always. Krishna maintains always the auspicious desire to understand the love of Radhika. You understand? In order to do that, in the Ras Lila, Samyak Rasa Lila, Samyak Sara, Samyak Sara Rasa Lila. The Rasa Lila, Samyak Vasanate Rasa Lila, I'm sorry. In the Ras Lila, all the mood of Radhika is fully manifest there. Krishna has a desire to understand this. Therefore, Krishna enters the Rasa Lila in the form of Sadashiv by getting a gopi body from Purnamasi. But what happens? Yes. Because they immediately notice some vijati abhav here. Something is not right. Gopis approach Krishna, long story short. They give chastisement. But they say, we're giving you benediction. You can become Gopishwar Mahadev. But the point here was that Krishna has this desire always. After the conclusion of all Braj Lila, including the Ras Lila, Purva of Raja Vilas say 18 Abhilas. Krishna was still left with 3 desires. What 3 desires? Shri Radha Maima Kidraso Vanyeva. What is the glory of the pranay or love of Radhika? What is the way she tastes my 4 kinds of madhuri? Shokyam Chasya. What kind of happiness comes from this Muranakyam Abhav? To taste these 3 things, Mahaprabhu accepted the mood and the complexion of Srimati Radhika. This became Sachinandan Shri Gaura Hari. When Vyasadeva was writing Srimad Bhagavatam, he starts off glorifying this love. Janmadhyasya yata anvihari taracha shartesi abhigya swarat. He glorifies this love right in the first slok, Namaskaratmaka slok. The very last verse he writes in Bhagavatam, he was writing all Bhagavatam. He got to the 11th canto. After Ras Lila, he described how will you obtain Ras Lila. He described the whole process of Bhakti, 11th canto. In the 12th canto, suddenly he starts describing the kings. Then he describes Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga will be degraded. Mandasu Mandamatayo, Mandabhagyavado, so many bad things. Wait a minute, you just got to describing Ras Lila, Bhakti, now you're describing all these bad things. What was happening? He was thinking out of compassion, how will the jiva get this? How is possible? This age is so degraded. How will the jivas obtain this wonderful thing which I've realized? And I wrote whole 18,000 verses, 335 chapters, 100 stories to prove the glory of the love of Radha for Krishna. But jivas in this Kali Yuga are very fallen. How will they get it? Then one darshan came to him. Jaya Sachinandan Jaya Gaurari, Sachinandan Jaya Gaurari. When he had this darshan, he took his pen very quickly and wrote, Nama Sankirtan Yasa Sava Papa Pranasanam Pranamo Dukha Samanastanam Haning Param. And then he put his pen to rest. He contemplated and entered into Gaur Leela Shri Vrindavan Das Thakur. Picked up his pen again and began to write Chaitanya Bhagavat. Understand? Then Sri Krishna himself, I can't describe because our time is so late already. So Krishna himself, he also contemplated. At the end of all pastimes, when he had removed the burden of the earth, right? By the last burden of the earth was his own family, Vishnu dynasty, right? They were all demigods. He had to send back to their post. So the Mosala Lila takes place. After Mosala Lila, Krishna is sitting under one pipal tree. Sitting under that pipal tree, Krishna is meditating. Yam yam snapi smaram bhavam dajayadayante kalevaram. What you will meditate on at the time you're leaving, that state you will attain. Bhagavad Gita is very deep. We should not think Bhagavad Gita is a simple thing. So many levels to Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna is sitting here and he's thinking, I need to fulfill 2 things. 1, how can I obtain the mood of Radhika? Prema rasanyas karite ashwadan, rag mag bhakti loke karite prajan. How will I obtain this mood? And how will I give this mood to all others? This is one thought Krishna had. Second thought, one day Rohini Ma, when all of the queens approached her and asked, listen, every night Krishna cries in our bed, so much separation from Braj. Please explain to us the glories of Vrindavan. Rohini Ma told, listen, if I'll begin to speak this katha, Naham Tastami Vaikunte Yoginam Hrideshuva, Krishna will completely run here, even from Vaikunta, even out of the hearts of yogis to hear this katha. Subhadra, stand at the door, don't let him in. It will be too much for him. So Subhadra stood at the door immediately. When Rohini Ma began to describe all Brajalila, sweetness of Brajalila, Krishna in his heart immediately became restless and ran there along with Baladev. When they got to the doorway, they saw Subhadra. Her body was completely transformed. They were also amazed, and as they listened to that katha, their bodies also transformed. Those bodies became Sri Jagannath, Baladev, and Subhadra. Narada Muni always comes on time. He checks his email. We don't check. I have 30,000 emails. I'm not bragging on this. I'm just saying this is my lacking. Right? But Narada Muni always checking messenger, email, oh, this amazing thing. Oh, Narayana. He has arrived at that place and he's seeing the beautiful forms of Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra. He told, oh my Lord, you have to manifest for the sake of all jivas the beauty of these forms. You understand? That time Krishna told Tatashtu, certainly it will be. But there's a secret. Many devotees know this part. But what is the secret why he took this form of Jagannath? Those who've heard do not say. What is the secret why he took this form of Jagannath? I'm telling a hint. During the night of Ras Leela, it's described, Justavadkamunvantam, Akanda Mandalam, the moon was full, and the moon observed the Ras Leela. But the Acharyas told, no demigod can look at the Ras Leela. Therefore, that moon could not have been Chandradev. He's Devata. He cannot see the Ras Leela. Who was that moon? Krishna Chandra. He himself wanted to witness that Rasa dance. You understand? So he took the form of Sakshi, a witness. Now, here's the mystery of Jagannath. Jagannath not only appeared because of the whole pastime of Nilamada of everything, but he appeared to be the Sakshi to himself tasting the mood of Radhika. And to witness a success that could not take place in Krishna Lila. What? When Radhika met Krishna Kurukshetra along with gopis, they begged Krishna. Anya Ridoya Moraman, Moramana Vrindavan, Mani Vani Eko Kari Jani. If you have any love for me, place your 2 feet in my heart and come with me back to Braj. Krishna put his head down. Still there are some 1, 2 more demons to kill. I could not describe Akrura is taking Krishna. This is a difficult thing for me to describe even. But when he was leaving, he said, Asyayati, or Paravasa, Agajamis. What is it? Maharaj told it differently. In Bhagavatam it's written, Asyayati. It means I will return the day after tomorrow. But Krishna never comes back. Gopal Chaku, Jiva Goswami is writing after killing Dantavakra. But in Bhagavatam it's not written that he will return. So Jagannath wanted to witness himself tasting the mood of Radhika, but he wanted to witness the success that Radhika will take me back to Braj. Therefore, the Rath Yatra is the witness of Jagannath seeing himself in the mood of Radhika, having the success of taking Krishna from Dwarka back to Vrindavan. This is the actual mood of Rath Yatra. And anyone who's fortunate enough to participate is assisting Radhika and all gopis and Brijabasis by taking the reins of the chariot that one time made the gopis cry as Akrura was pulling away, pulling that same chariot. And now an ecstatic kirtan of Mahaprabhu with all the associates of previous incarnations, pulling that chariot back to Sri Brajadam. Jai Shri Jagannath Rath Yatra Ki Jai. Hari Katha Gaur Pranande Hari Hari. Dhanavad Pranam. Thank you so much. Oh, Rath Yatra Inquiry is actually Monday.
No. For us.
For us.
Monday.
Tuesday there.
Tuesday morning.
And Gundicha Marjan is
Tomorrow.
But Prabhuji, you didn't really touch on Gadadhar Pandit.
Oh, yes. Whole Leela, who is Gadadhar Pandit?
Srimati
I've told Hokatan Gurudev told, we cannot see them two separate people. That Gadadhar, some people have philosophy that Gadadhar Pandit, when he comes, he becomes empty. And Mahaprabhu has all mood of Radhika. But actually, not like that. Gadadhar Pandit is fully Radhika. The desires of Radhika are also fulfilled in Gaur Lila. How? Because Madhurya Rasa has certain things. One thing is called Prakshana Mukita. It has to be kept hidden. But when Radhika comes as Gadadhar Pandit, he's giving Bhagavatam class in Tota Gopinath every day. So what were the moods of Radhika in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam, he's telling to Mahaprabhu and all associates every day openly. Understand? So now Radhika's desire is fulfilled. Also, the nature of associating in Madhurya Rasa is called Dunabhata. It's very difficult. Krishna can't knock on the door of Jatil and say, "There's Radhika home." Cannot do it. Understand? So many tricks and different arrangements have to be made for Abhisar, so many things. But in Gadadhar Pandit, he's associating Mahaprabhu every day, except in Gambhir. Understand? So in this way also the desires of Radhika was fulfilled. Understand? Coming as Gadadhar Pandit. So all Katha was of Gadadhar Pandit. Any small questions, everything? Because I'm sorry I ran some late.
That's okay.
Anyway, thank you very much.
Any questions? Any questions?
Also, just quickly while you're thinking, I want to thank Nilamada Prabhu and Sundar Chal Prabhu for hosting yourself and your good family, and for allowing myself and my wife was here in Baltimore for so many years. Yeah, so many years here. Her dental practice was very close by. Not very close by, but in Woodlawn area. Yeah, close by. So,
I have a question. Lord Jagannath, sometimes it gets very confusing, Lord Jagannath, they say that he's a very loving God because he's always thinking Radharani. But sometimes they say because he's in Dwarka, he's something like that, Lord Jagannath, the full pastime, then he's in Aishwarya Bhav. So how should we reconcile both the things?
our acharyas have told there are 5 angas of practicing bhakti: Nam Kirtan, Sadhu Sangha, Bhagavad Shravan. What's the next one? Is Mathura Vas. So if you're practicing bhajan in the line of Mahaprabhu, your Mathura Vas means Braj Vas. So your perspective on everything is from Braj Vas. So for any Brijabasi, Mathura and Dwarka are simply extensions of Vrindavan, as we already said. Means they are places of separation. They're not separate places. When Krishna goes to Mathura, he's crying every day. So he tells to Uddhava, Gatcha Gurva Somyam, Pitaro Prityavaha, Mad Gopi Vyogadim, Mat Sandeshaya, Vimochaya. Oh, please go Uddhava to try to console my parents and give my message to gopis. He's suffering in Mathura. But whenever he's suffering, it gives more opportunity for service for us. When he goes to Dwarka, it becomes more suffering, worse suffering, because now it's very far place. This is called Sudura Pravas in Kujalamani. He goes to a very far place for a long time and he comes under the control of others because now he's married 16,108 queens along with their families, and now he's got the responsibility for 16,108 palaces and 10 sons and a daughter. And do you understand? But his mood is not changed. That's why every night he's crying in Dwarka. That's why every night the elderly Vasudeva and Devaki asking, listen, his 16,108 places he eat every day, still he's so skinny. Why? You understand? When I went to Dwarka, the Pujari of Dwarkadesh told me, what is the meaning of Dwarka?
Where is the door?
Dwarakaha. Where did this place come from? If you look in Gopal Champu, it came by the mercy of Brijavasis. They say Vishwakarma built this place. Vishwakarma, Puranas can externally describe. But it's described that the Brijavasis, when they heard about the attack of Kalyavan and Jarasan, they began doing a yagya with Bhagavad Rishi and others. Oh, please protect Krishna's arm, Swaha. Protect his head, Swaha. Protect his whole body, Swaha. Please encircle him with a fort so no one can touch him, Swaha. Make a great ocean around him, Swaha. The Brijavasis' desires came true because all Mathuravasis went to sleep one night. They heard the Jamuna. Gungo, gungo, gungo. Next day they woke up, they heard waves crashing. And they were in Dwarka. So, Dwarakaha, from where does this place come? You understand? So this place for us is only a place where Krishna is suffering. Then, Samriman Sambho. When they will meet again in Kurukshetra, this is called Samriman Sambho. They meet there, and now the gopis, after so many years, their mood has an exalted state of happiness. But the separation again comes when he goes back and doesn't go to Vrindavan. After that, the battle of Kurukshetra takes place. Krishna comes back to that very place at Kurukshetra, and when he pulls in on the chariot with Arjuna sitting there, then he looks at that place. What do you think happens to Krishna? His heart breaks. And when Krishna's heart breaks, because he's told Arjuna before, you are my very dear Sakha, Arjuna's heart also melts, and Arjuna starts crying. I don't want to fight. Why are we here? You understand? This is because Krishna's own heart is breaking. So then Krishna takes the advantage. Sava upanasado gavo dugdha nandana gopala vatsa partha sudhi bhokta gita amritam mahar. He takes advantage like Arjuna is like, vatsa means a calf. To get milk from the cow, you have to bring the calf. To get the nectar of Krishna's heart, he took Arjuna and brought Arjuna near him, and in 700 verses, he gave his catharsis of separation in deep-coded verses called Bhagavad Gita. You understand? Bhagavad Gita is not ordinary Atma Tattva Sastra. High class of Rasik Sastra.
Just explain Dehi Nosmani Yatha. Just explain that.
Taking only one shlok, Bhumipata is giving the order. Dehi Nosmani Yatha Dehi Komanam Yoganam Jala Tata Dehantrapati Diras Tatra Namoyati. So here we're thinking as the soul passes in his body from boyhood to youth to old age, then to Jara means old age, then similarly at the time of death it passes to a new body, you should be Dira, sober. But here the meaning is, the gopis witness Krishna's
On different levels.
yes, first, Bhagavad Gita is on different levels. One level is called Samanya Nupakri, general teachings, anybody who wants to do Dharma. Next level is Guya. If you want to understand what is the soul, it is Guya Kata. Guyatar, more secret is if you want to learn how to do Bhakti. Guyatam, if you want to know Braj Bhakti, more secret. Sava Guyatam, what I'm telling now. Mood of Brijabasis, especially gopis. That time, Krishna is giving a catharsis to Arjuna. Listen, because messengers are there. Oh messengers, you hear me. I'm talking to Arjuna, but you messengers here also. You go to Brij and you tell gopis, listen, I know you saw my pastimes in my boyhood, in my youth, and especially in Kaishore, youth age, we had so many pastimes together. Now when we are separated, one feature of Virohe is called Yadi, like disease, like old age. Like Gadadhar Pandit, when Mahaprabhu disappeared, Gadadhar Pandit was younger than Mahaprabhu, and Mahaprabhu left this world at 48. But Gadadhar Pandit, though he was younger, he could no longer stand. Like old age came, he had to sit down. Therefore, Tota Gopinath sat down. Why? Because the mood of separation causes this. So he's saying Jara here, he's speaking to the separation of the gopis in Braj, what they're feeling. He says, but listen, you saw me at Kurukshetra, and when you saw me, I had on a crown, royal dress and everything, and Radhika uttered the verse that Madhavinda Puri uttered. Ayi dina dayadranata maturanata karavalokshe. Radhika uttered this verse first. Madhavinda Puri is reflecting this verse. He says, listen, I know how you felt, but listen, I have not changed. So remain Dhira. You understand? Be patient. Remain Dhira. I have not changed. Don't call me Mathuranath. I am still your Vijayendra Nandan, Nandanandan. In Gopi Geet, one criticism they gave is that you're not the son of Mother Yashoda. How could you be? Because Mother Yashoda is so compassionate and you're being so hard-hearted. He said, no, don't think. I am with you every day. So this verse, real meaning for them, is that you remain Dhira. Do not give up. I will return to you. This is real meaning. Bhagavad Gita full of these verses. You understand? But we have to have praman for this, because somebody can say, oh Mukunda, this sounds like speculation. Adi Lila chapter 4. You understand? Text 211. There, Krishna's Kaviraj is speaking from the Adi Puran. Krishna used to speak this kind of katha to Arjuna many times. So you look in Adi Lila chapter 4, you find all references there.
He says, what the gopis
Are not to me. They're my everything. So many verses in Adi Puran he's saying. That's the proof.
Tells it to Arjuna.
Tells it to Arjuna. Okay, Prabhuji?
So I'm just simply amazed how you, this particular verse, how you went to so many different level and understanding. I'm just trying to understand how we can also, in our practice, go to some more deeper level.
First, to take the apakyan according to Adhikar. So if my Adhikar is at a certain level, I should take that this verse means I should try to do bhajan because everyone will die. And because everyone will die, I don't want to be afraid of death, so I have to do bhajan. So according to Adhikar, the Rasik explanation you will take as an inspiration. For when my Adhikar will become mature, more and more mature, then that taste will come in my heart. In the other Adhikar, because other than that, Prakriti Sahajavad will come. Yeah, you understand? If you try to jump, and oh, this is the meaning, this is the real meaning. But my Adhikar, I'm not yet chanting my rounds. I'm going to Mangal Arati every day, Sangsarada, Vanamalita Gopa. Because also Guru Hastakam is a very deep dhyan. And all the feelings that you want to have for Mahaprabhu Radhakrishna, you should first have for Guru. That's why the very first thing you do when you wake up in the morning, even before you put your feet on the ground is Namo. What is Nama? Na aham mameti. Saranagati to Gurudev. And then when you sing Guru Hastakam, the dhyan of Guru Hastakam is the glory of your Gurudev from saving you by giving you initiation, Sangsara Dhava, all the way to Bhav, Nikunja Yuno Rati Keli Siddha. So first meditate deeply every morning doing this. Then going to Tulsi and begging Tulsi, make me a resident Vrindavan. Then chanting your mantras. The mantras I cannot speak here because mantras are hasya, but don't think your mantras worshipping Surya Dev.
Okay.
This is my point. Understand? Srimad Bhagavatam, Gayatri Bhasha Rupaso. The explanation of the Gayatri Mantra, don't worry about the paper you get. The explanation, that's to give you, remember, you can remember the mantra. Sundar Chapabu will come for him also. That when you take Diksha, they will give you the mantras. The explanation of the mantras, Gayatri Bhasha Rupaso, or Srimad Bhagavatam. And Srimad Bhagavatam establishes in the very first verse, Janma Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Tika. Janma Adiras. The Adiras or love between Radha and Krishna that's experienced Anvayat Itara means in meeting and separation. By that person, Abhigya means who's the controlling deity of Samvit Shakti, cognition. Who is Swarat, Rasovai Saha, Akil Rasamita Murti. That is the meaning of Gayatri. So the very first Gayatri, this is the meaning. Understand? So you do deep, deep bhajan like this, and then all these things are coming. Alright, I think it's because of later. I don't want to hold everybody.
As always, we are very grateful. I think it's been just phenomenal having Prabhuji. We realize his potential, but for 4 or 5 years we've been deprived of that. And today I think it's just amazing. Bhumipati Prabhu. And I think maybe next time when they come, we can have like 4-hour session because when Bhumipati Prabhu puts his realization, it just mind-boggles me completely. We did Chaitanya Charitamrita together at Krishna Prabhu's house, and it was like nectar flowing from him here, and it was just amazing.
We have
And
to
just
come more than one day.
yes, well, we may have to have a few day session, which is there. It was just so thank you so much.
The next time we do the intensive, they have to know.
Yes, yes, or maybe someplace. So thank you so much.
We do a few
Every year, yeah, in
years
Florida.
In Florida.
Yes.
And
We do 1 week,
We
Bhakti
do a
intensive.
whole week, and everyone can rent their rooms. You
Yes.
have time, you do what you know, you have time off, but then the class is morning and evening.
So that,
2 classes a
yes.
day.
Yeah, we just went for 1 week, Bhagavat Saptaha from Puja Pachal Bhakti Sri Sridhar Maharaj. 3 hours in the morning, 3 hours in the evening.
Sometimes 3 hours.
Sometimes.
Sometimes
Non-Doksa,
Sometimes 4
non-Doksa and Govran, more. Because every single Brijabas song, everything.
So that,
And I had to dress as a coward boy, so I know everything.
And I have pictures to prove it.
So thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you, Mataji. Everybody comes all the way from Florida and gives mercy. Really grateful. Thank you so much. Hari Bol. Thank you. Chandra and Bhagavad and few other
There's so
books.
many others.
Would you like to see? You can see it, but
I'll bring them here.
yeah, this one. Can you?
Thank you, oh, thank you so much. Oh, Nilamani Prabhu? Also, please meet Srikant Prabhu. We had a program there last night, very sweet devotee. So I wanted that you two should meet everything.
That is, I'd like to get your contact. Close to the mother, okay, very cheap. She had come yesterday.
Oh, thank you, Prabhuji, for coming. Thank you for coming. Haribo, many years before I've seen you. Oh, Haribo. Very nice seeing you. 20 years. Yeah.